So it is festival season, and especially if you're here in Southern California, there's just an explosion of festivals all up the Pacific Coast, out in the desert, a bunch of different festivals. And I know many people here, because of either budget or time, despite what people think, a lot of Southern Californians work really, really hard and have to be very careful about how much time they take off from work.
They're too busy getting stoned and surfing to learn geography. But that's cool, because they're in with the earth. Anyway, God bless you for being with us on this beautiful full moon evening, Southern California, living the dream with you.
So a lot of people are saying, are you going to this festival or that one? I can't really do this, that together. I can't do all three of those or four of those. I can maybe do two or maybe only one.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
So what I'm going to do is discuss the two main ones in my opinion. Obviously Coachella, which is arguably the flagship concert music festival in the world. And the other one, which is a personal favorite, is the Beachlife Festival. I've been going to Coachella since 2001, which was the second iteration of it. It was one day. It was amazing. The headliners were Jane's Addiction. It was a reunion of sorts. They hadn't played together in years. It was a blast. I remember daytime just being blazing hot, and then a cool, nice desert breeze comes in the evening, and then it gets really cold at night. I went for many, many years during what I call the golden era of Coachella in the early 2000s, and have gone intermittently ever since. Beachlife is a much newer festival. The two festivals offer very different things. Now, Coachella's out in the desert. Take a nice drive down the 10 and you'll find it. Beachlife Festival is right off the Pacific Coast Highway on the beach in Redondo Beach. Literally, your feet are in the sand. You can hear ocean waves crashing, Pacific breeze all day long. There are certainly pros and cons of each festival. They offer very different things. They contrast each other more than they are something that you can compare. So maybe one will interest you more than the other, and this will be helpful in that sense.
Leave that to me.
Damn fool, I knew that you were gonna say that.
Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
The biggest difference, although sometimes the biggest similarity, is the music itself. Now, I will say Coachella is focused and has been since its early days on presenting artists who are like on the part of the avant-garde. The tip of the spear, what's coming, what's going to be big. Maybe you see them at Coachella and they blow up in the coming year. That's usually what happens with the majority of artists that you see at Coachella. Now, they're going to have huge headliners, perhaps the biggest headliners of that year, which can be a trade-off of either, really, really amazing artists that you want to see desperately bad that year. Or kind of the hack popish stuff that Coachella has kind of adopted in the last decade or so. Beachlife's headliners are going to be more established acts with long-lasting fan bases, which tends to bend the crowd a little bit older, but not necessarily. For example, the headliners last year at Beachlife were Gwen Stefani and Sublime with Rome. This year's one of the headliners at Coachella is No Doubt, so Gwen Stefani's band, and a big draw is also Sublime, with Bradley Nowell's son replacing Rome. So there's this kind of crossover in that sense, especially with Southern California vibes. Okay, so weather. Beachlife Festival is pretty much going to have the most perfect, gorgeous weather of any festival in the world. Coachella, on the other hand, is in the California desert and can go either way. It can be so hot that it makes it really awful, or so cold at night that it makes it really uncomfortable as well. Or you can luck out and have a beautiful time. A lot of it has to do with how dusty it is, how dry the year is, whether the turf gets destroyed in week 1 and you go to week 2 at Coachella or something like that. A lot of different factors, but beach life is pretty much always going to have better weather. It's on the beach, for fuck's sake. 2 other major differences are going to be production level and the crowd. Coachella is an international event. It's at the top of the game. I've never seen production at this level. It's unrivaled in its production, the sound, everything. It's amazing. Beachlife is much more of a local SoCal event. The crowds are extremely different. In recent years, Coachella has pretty much become the stomping grounds of Instagram influencers.
Let them eat cake.
And many people who are there just to take pictures. Nothing wrong with that. I take plenty of pictures at Coachella and put it all on Instagram and whatnot. Beach life is much more music focused. Like I said, established fan bases going for particular acts. It tends to be a much more Southern Californian audience. A lot of people from the OC drive up to Southern LA, Redondo Beach, and see it. Coachella is international in the truest sense of the word. Lodging, big difference there. Coachella is highly competitive for decently priced, good lodging.
My little star.
College baseball pitcher. Beachlife Festival, you can get a really nice Airbnb in the South Bay of Los Angeles. Both of them are 3-day festivals. Coachella forces you to buy a wristband for all 3 days. Beachlife Festival, you can pick and choose, 1 day, 2 days, or all 3. Coachella is much more packed. Now, Beachlife has its regular festival and then Beachlife Ranch. My hat says that's kind of the equivalent of Coachella's Stagecoach that they do. Each of those secondarily kind of Western country Americana focused cousins of the larger festivals are not as packed as the main ones. But in any event, Beachlife is going to be a thinner crowd than Coachella, which will be max to capacity. Both are great. Both are expensive once you get in. I think Coachella might be a little bit more expensive. Definitely more restrictive on alcohol areas. There's certain areas at Coachella that you can drink. Can't drink across the whole campus. Beachlife, you can get hammered across the whole thing. It makes it a lot more fun, less restrictive. You can sit there and be watching a group on the Pacific Beach, drinking a beer right in front of the stage, and there's no problem with that. Hit me up in the comments if you have any additional questions or clarifications that you want. Happy to answer them.